Good morning, everyone. All righty. So sometimes you don't want to be right. Meaning, we came into this week anticipating a trading range because of options expiration and open interest at the certain levels in SPX. So, you know, we want price. As far as the broader markets go, of course, we want it to move because that primarily just sets a bullish tone if it's going up and vice versa. So there's been some whipsaws, some corrective price action overall, broader markets. No damage being done, but it's just running in place. Um, you can imagine this on a line chart. Talked about that, I think, in the green room, or maybe it was in the morning yesterday. Anyway, if you just intersect these prices here, view it on a line chart, you see the market's just been going sideways now for about 2 weeks. And so the anticipation is that that will continue to happen probably into the end of tomorrow, unless there's some market moving news. There was news yesterday, Trump, the Fed chair, it created some nasty gyrations, which you can see this little whip down to the bottom there, which on SPX headed down to the lower level that we talked about on Monday, 6,200 on SPX. And it ripped up from there. So in the moment, I guess the algorithms are reacting to the news that passes through them. They jump on board, they knock it back down. They recognize the levels we're talking about, and others just jump on board and it goes back up again. And so, whippy price action and, then some bottoming out and so on. So the other numbers came out this morning, initial jobless claims, a little lower than consensus, not a big deal. And, the market's moved up. And they're moving up. They're at the bottom of the trading range. They're working their way up toward the top of the trading range. So forgetting what's going on in the world, all it was yesterday in the green room, and he's like, what the hell's going on here? There must have been some news. And then, when we find out, the Trump potentially firing Powell and so on and so forth. So wild and whippy, things then tighten up. Everybody like catch their breath and, let's go back to work. So trend up, sideways. We'll see, I think, next week which way the prices go. It's in an uptrend. The initial assumption has to be higher, right? So options expiration, usually a turning point. It's been going up for a while. Could it roll back over? Sure. But it could spike up to 6,400 and then decide to roll back over. In any event, the options expiration information I shared in the beginning of the week is just one guideline. And it's like anything else. Like, okay, there's a wide range bar. What do I do with that? Well, does it trend up, down, or sideways? Is it at support? Is it at resistance? Is it a bearish bar? Is it a bullish bar? Is there room for it to run? Now, all of those things. So any of these, yesterday we talked about seasonality in the green room. Just so one of those concepts doesn't tell us a trading strategy and what to do. So as we get into next week and the options expiration is over, the expectation is market's going to be kind of unhandcuffed, so to speak, to move more freely. And a consolidation after a momentum move into a rising 20 MA historically suggests it's going to go higher. So that's the bias until proven otherwise. We'll just have to see. I think, for today and tomorrow, it's going to be more of the same, playing ping pong. So did any other markets do something out of the ordinary? No, not really. A little bit more whip back and forth at bottom of the range, top of the range. You can see it there. Prices are up this morning. Report came out. It went up. We moving up there. Weekly trend is still up, new all-time highs. And any rejection got bought on the dip. So still continuous bullish price action, but for 2 weeks, just ping pong, running sideways. Now the Dow has been a bit weaker. and why we spoke earlier in the week about the possibility of this moving lower, lower high, lower low, within an uptrend toward an area of price support where buyers would be more aggressive. So everything bounced yesterday after the news, the little hissy fit, and prices came back up again. There's overhead resistance on a short-term basis. Maybe it can go a little bit higher. Just not great opportunities here as far as a real big move. It's like, get in and get out. Russell, are you? Unless you're holding something for a swing trade, of course. I'm talking from a day trading perspective. The Russell, higher highs. So here, I always like to point out or say something to educate as well as show why indicators are not necessary. Now, those that would be using the indicator, well, depending on your settings, and you had something down here, you have, whoa, it's overbought. Right? Depending on your setting, maybe it gets here, and then it goes like this. You have faster settings, it would have come down here, and you got your oversold. Of course, this is the subjectivity of it. But the fact that this moved up with such momentum, pulled back, made a marginal high, and then begins to pull back, your indicators would make lower highs. And there's the bearish divergence. The Russell, that's going to be a topping pattern. Whatever thoughts it produces. If you really had some time, I would throw the Ichikumi cloud on here, and it's too early for that. It may get you nauseous. But there was a reversal off of this support here. So looking at this congestion area, it's not as flat as the other markets, but overall, it's still bullish, right? Upward move, breaking this little shelf here, not a big deal. We'll see if we can consolidate sideways, and we'll see how things evolve, right? That's what we do. Gold still marking time, and can't get out of its own way. Inflation concerns, interest rates. We'll take a look at that. But this is just sideways. Top of the range, bottom of the range, middle of the range, not going anywhere. Maybe it's heading down to the bottom of the range. Silver, as we've been talking about, has been showing some relative strength. In the past, it showed relative weakness. And so this is pulling back toward the bottom of the wide range bar in minor support. I'd love to have a wide range bar reverse or a bottoming tail bar down here, for an entry for a swing. But right now it's just kind of grinding its way lower. And oil also kind of been all over the place last couple of weeks. It looked like it was heading down here. It's been holding. It's just been chopping sideways also, just whipping back and forth here. As I'm looking at this little downside shakeout, it's still whippy. Now, what we like to see with a downside shakeout is it tightens up, because when it tightens up, it signals or it suggests, tells us that there's more of a meeting of the minds between buyers and sellers. As it tightens up, then with this kind of a pattern and a void above, it's likely to spring up. In the context of the daily chart, that really isn't attractive from a daily chart perspective, but the way it came down from an intraday perspective, it does present some short-term opportunities, but it has not tightened up and it hasn't taken out, it's called the neckline yet. So nothing to do there. Interest rates, they've moved up quite a bit, and the market has just thumbed its nose at that. And it's like, whatever, other market environments, interest rates go up that much, the market falls. This market's gone sideways. It's shown relative strength. So while there's inflation concerns, it's not that big of a concern yet. Now, all of that could be because of the options expiration. We'll find out next week, as the handcuffs come off and we see which way things go. This morning, they're backing off a little bit, market's up a little bit. Overall, just running in place. And we have to look at SPX, of course. SMHs, which have been a leader, still in an uptrend. Right, little dip got bought there, and that is up into that unfilled gap there. Overall, really not doing much of anything. I can't go. I don't have time to go through all of these, but there are other underlying positives that developed, a couple of weeks ago, like regional banks, you know, making a move. So they've jiggled around here a little bit. They've gotten loose. They got to tighten up. They gotten closer to resistance on the weekly, but the weekly chart is still constructive. Transports, they continue to pull back. 200 MA there, rising 20, rising 50, got closer to resistance. The weekly is still constructive. Let's see if it can begin to gain its footing here. And overall, that's basically what's going on here, running in place. And we'll just have to see if something can start to move more significantly, or we'll just have to pick and choose what happens intraday. And next week, we should find some better charts. So spiders, again, the report here, within the middle of the range. So it's in the middle of that red bar above yesterday's bottoming tail bar. You can see the swap that's been going on here now for a while. It is what it is. We can't change it. All right, so it's in the middle of the range there. I said yesterday, if it can move down towards 6,200 and there's premium below that, it should be a no-brainer, right? Support, what I've already mentioned previously. And let's see. I don't know what is with this platform closing down this options thing. I never close it, but it closes the damn thing. And then it's got all of this hocus pocus option stuff here. Gamma, delta, da 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 da. Let's see if there's something far out there. McGraw did that. Yeah, McGraw did that. By the way, I reached out to Fausto from Cyber Trader University, the guy I did the podcast with earlier in the week, and invited him to come on with Dan and I for an MT Live. So he's going to do that at the end. I think he said the end of the month. We'll get that set up. But he's he's been around almost as long as I have, and completely different style. He's from the Source Bandit days, and he was a market maker. So he should have some enlightening comments for us as far as that goes. But he's an order flow guy. Level two. I imagine, I don't know, level four. All the kind of stuff that us in the green room pretty much don't look at. We look at the charts and um, what's the trend, support, resistance, so on and so forth. So I guess more of scalping type of things, but you know, somebody doing something different, we could learn something. That's what we're looking for, and it's always interesting conversation. Okay, well, let's call it 6,300, which is good. He's a nice guy, by the way. Otherwise, I wouldn't even talk to him. There's some not so nice people out there. So look, these are relatively tight. So you got to pick and choose. Like the spike, if it runs up there, up above 6,300, I believe will be safe. And anything down here. All yours, Dan.
Once again, though, with broader market tight coma, our positions and the things we find are superior. So we always find something to trade. Look at this Archer. I was looking at Joby. Like, look at this thing. We missed it over here. This little 1, 2, 3 would have been the entry, and then a buy set up here. So this took off, but Archer, I know we looked at it yesterday in the green room, and my only concern was the target being because of this gap. But because it's coming out of a base, and because the weekly is strong, and because Joby flew, let's keep this on our radar to work an entry on this one. Let's look at alarms here first before earnings. So Oklo, today's Thursday. We entered this on Monday. And we added yesterday. We also have a put spread. And so I said sell a third pre-market right up here, 66.20. So that'll book over $5 of gain on a third lot. All alarm, we've been in this for a long time. My up alarm went off 113, and now it's down, so it's just noise. We have a nice open game in that too, along with ARK K, nice open game. Look at that. We were in this since over here. And where's managing? Soon. Alarm. No, it's gapping up. I posted that pre-market. I said yesterday. Well, yesterday it was on our list over the red bar, and then it just kind of fell apart. And so and then it rallied into the afternoon, and I said, I like it now with the bottoming tail. So it's gapping up a little bit. Let's wait for a pullback. That would ruin that. Soon. From. Something's weird with this one. Greg, this is actually one that you flagged an MT live yesterday, but the symbol yesterday was, I guess, BS, something like that. And then today I wake up and I looked at my positions and I'm like, what the heck is Tron? But they changed names overnight. But I'm in this. I got the 7.5 puts. So that's good, but it looks higher. If we get a 1, 2, 3, looks higher. I had a UNH alarm. I reset the alarm. This little bottoming tail set my alarm off. But this sector has been killed with the Trump legislation. But I looked like a short yesterday's low. Let's go to, oh, and then this tossed. I posted a put spread, and also let's watch for directional. I was watching this for over a week, and then I got tired of watching it. And that happens so many times. The day you take it off your watch list and it goes. It's one of those funny things as an active trader. We even say it in advance. But what I do now is I say, Sam, I'm tired of watching it. You watch it for us. Just so I can blame it on him if he messes up. Elson, invest in Robotaxi. Wow, that's a monster. That's a monster gap. Uber doing nothing. All right, earnings now. Let's come up here. KMI 27.65. Call spread idea. United was down. So it's done an about face. Wow, they must have had an earnings call or something. 'Cause that's bullish now. Maybe 30-minute high along and put spread also. No pattern, Rexer, no prints or pattern, no prints. That's garbage. Home B, regional bank, nothing. Air, gapping up. That's the gap's excessive for me. But look, railroad track, railroad 2050 is a strong short intermediate trend. This says it's gapping down to 62. We'll come back to it. I don't see any prints. Slug. Uh, kind of hard to tell. We'll come back. TSM is going to be helping the semis here. This is gapping all-time highs. Again, railroad track 2050. I looked at this to sell puts, but I couldn't get far enough away. GE, positive outlook and earnings, but I don't see any trade there. It's up 8 bars. NVS ADR gapping down. I don't generally like ADRs. That overlapping bars. This is a pattern I say gives me a headache. But gapping below 200, that's an ugly gap. So it's going to be too far to do a call spread. Pepsi, I tried selling puts. I tried selling the 127s or 6s. Did not get filled. That's a big igniting gap. But particularly for a slug like Pepsi, that's a big gap. I guarantee you it blew through the estimate. Well, I can't guarantee it, but let me look here. Pepsi expected move $5.10. So yeah, it blew through the expected move. MMC, it's gapping over a red bar, possible put spread. But I don't like it directional at all. ELV, wow, you rarely get railroad track on all 3 moving averages. Why, you might ask? Well, because the 200 is so slow. So the fact that look at this, all these are parallel, same angle down. That is one nasty downtrend. CTOS gapping down, no pattern. USB, no pattern. Travelers opening flat, no pattern. Yeah, we're actually short of Charlie Bravo, I think. And CFG, regional bank, gapping up a little with no pattern. SNA, 328. That's an igniting gap. I don't like the way it trades for directional, but put spread. So these ones I'm highlighting, if anyone wants to help me out, like always. Another regional bank, Webster. Oh, I actually got my account with them. No pattern. Pattern. Man, I did a put spread on this myself. It was too tight for me to give it to subscribers, but I did the 40-35 because I got like 85 cents. So I'm gapping to 46. I'm gonna bid a nickel to get out. PCBI. No pattern. Martin opening flat. Headache looking bottoming pattern. And finally, nothing. So those are all the earnings. These are all now just miscellaneous things. Archer, we talked about. Retail had the retail sales number better than expected, opening flat. Tossed, I talked about. Look at WIGMI, it's a bold rectangle. This is the Bitcoin miners ETF, and we totally missed this 1, 2, 3 right here. Look at that move. We did get into ARKG. No, my bad. ARKB. I was gonna say that didn't look right. Yeah, we got an ARKB right on this breakout. But WIGMI, sorry we missed that. Pelletier, Robert, somebody mentioned this yesterday. It's strong. It's a grinder. Negated this bear 1, 2, 3 breakdown. Uptrend all time frames. Fubo, there was some news about NMAX and Fubo expanding their relationship. Dude, Greg, do you remember this? When we were looking at the price of this NMAX at 180 bucks. And look at Kane, they always do. They come
Wow.
back, they come back to earth. Look at that. And that was real. It was, because remember, we were scratching our heads saying, what the heck? It was like the new GME stuff, game stuff. But they're doing something.
Probably, Trump is expanding Trump media, and I see parts of Fox, kind of their presenter. It looks like the same format as Newsmax. So I guess competition and whatever increasing.
But they're doing something with Fubo, but this is not a bad pattern. It's not bad. Daily, weekly, monthly. So I got an alarm on that. Hey, Sam, I got a Sam alarm. What is saying? EH is the same sector as Joby. So yeah, here's another one of these Joby stocks you can watch. E-Hang kind of sounds like Chinese to me though. All right, Sam, yeah, up alarm. I would love to do a put spread on this Sam, but they're just incredibly spready. Like 0 by $1.40. I actually had an offer out yesterday trying to play market maker. Didn't get filled. Look at Soon ripping here. Yeah, I'm not chasing. I posted it pre-market though. Nice move. Lazy boy. Lazy boy needs an alarm. Soon I'm not chasing. Oh, APL alarm also went off. I gave that this morning. All right, so that's hitting cleanly. I gave APL 152.95. Yeah, it's not a potent turn is the only problem. I mean, you just have less confidence when you don't have a potent turn. So could it work? Sure. But I'd have a lot more confidence with a new low reversal. I got Oklo bottom right ripping. Charlie Bravo, we're short this. I had a low alarm go off. It's probably gapping down because of one of those other insurance company earnings. Let me reset the alarm. All right, Aqua, let's see where our put spreads at. Sold a third, 26. $25. Nice move. Remember? Remember we were talking about that pattern the other day and I daily, weekly, I loved it. Q's coming in hard. And let's cover half of Oklo put spread. Dude, I was bidding 20, I didn't get it. But it was midpoint was 23. All right, so 24. So that's 4 cents shy of my target, but that's pretty darn good guess. Look at those. Yeah, Aries KKR. I know you. Yeah, I like Aries better than the KKR. Yeah, I just like Aries the 180 better. Cost is bobbling around. I have an order out. Man, they're not filling me. It's because of the stupid spreads. That's why I'm short the 45 puts. And I can't get out. I'm sorry, the $40 puts. But I can't, the stupid spreads. I'm dying. All right, I guess he filled me at a dime, not a nickel. So I'm out of man. Oh, this Tron. That's the one I I put on the trade during MT Live. And Greg was scanning. And I'm like, oh, I'll take some of that. Thanks, Greg. Rats are asinine. 12.5 puts are 0 by 320. Friggin' idiot. Sierra Bravo. Bouncing around. That's our little oil shipper. AI. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, look at the weekly monthly. That could be a home run entry. You got to give it a big stop. I would say 20, 20, whatever, 20 down here. But I like it. Well, that's why I'm pointing to the weekly monthly. So you're correct. The daily, if you just wanted a 1 to 3 day trade, I'd say 29, $1 and change. But if you want to trade the bigger time frame, I think 32. So that's the difference. And you know me, I'll still put. I'll go out the next week, and the 26s would be beautiful. 17 by 20, not enough. All right, toss is sloppy. So I'm not as excited about a directional, but I got my order out for the put spread. Alex's NFE, I've still been watching. Nice out on half aqua. Look at bottom right. It's building a little, like small little launching pad here. I've been selling puts on it, but now I think it's ready for direction. And the $3 puts for tomorrow or next. I'll try to sell a 20 lot. Pay $100. I guess they paying all these commissions though. And he put me on the offer. It was 0 by 10. So not filled. Nice APO. I didn't post it on the sheet yet. Oh, I didn't look at your FedEx yet. Right? Number 63. Usually I enter earlier than you do, Alex. I would want it to get, I would say over 63.10 myself, just to get it a little more airborne. But I'll set an alarm at 63:02 anyway. Oh, Diamonds IWM are on the same page here, flying. But it's a nice bottom cutter. So pull back reversal after breaking out, LYB. Our Sierra Bravo up alarm. That soon is flying. I hate when Cap and Go messes us up. Goldman. Yeah, it's much better today after yesterday's bottom of two. FedEx, I don't like at all. Your LYB is superior. Superior. No, that's a cook. The H moving, that's one of those um, Archer stocks. Yeah, we should have bought this yesterday if we were going to. It's chasing now. There's our Sierra Bravo looking great now. Etsy up alarm, that thing went against us. Ah, Etsy, it's a nice move here. Nice. That was a deep retracement against us. Closed up 30-minute low. Ah, we bought calls that expire tomorrow. Maybe we just sell them right now. 56 calls. Yeah, 260. Dude, we're just back to break even actually. Like 250. All right. LUV. That's a bull rectangle. Has room, weekly, monthly. It looks good. It's a bull rectangle. It's not that far from the 20 after going sideways 5 bars. I like it, John. So, yeah, no, I don't like Etsy as a new trade. We're getting out at a small gain after going against us. So I say we got a little bit lucky there on that gap. Yeah, 60, we still have those long puts also that expire tomorrow. We're gonna have to keep a tight leash on that. Boom, boom. APO, nice trade there. No, it's not too late. Are you kidding me? I said yesterday's low. I put a stop over 296 on Tuesday's high until it gets a little more altitude to the downside, and then today's high. There we go. LYB. Let's buy it over. No, that's 6303. Is that right? Yeah. Let's buy it over 6315. I just want to give it a little more requirement for a turn. It's back to being bullish. Oh, that's a typo. Diamonds. IWM. Still not great, but on the daily, but the fact that they're holding resilient is impressive. FLN. Hmm, up, up a couple bar. It is, it's an ignited bar on the 15 without a doubt. and I like the reversal on the weekly. It is up 4 bars at resistance, but it looks good. It looks like it's going to go through this hump. Just don't go all in and stop, I think, yesterday's low. NFP, NFP looking good right here. Buy it right here. Stop under Tuesday's low. 15-minute breakout. I'm gonna sell the $4 puts for tomorrow for a dime. Just hit the bid, so that gives me a cost basis of $3.90. And I'm gonna put another order out for 15 cents. And then next week, yeah, this is a good idea. Let me give this. Stuff would be, yeah, let's do this. Let's short the, yeah, let's short the $4 puts for next week. Yeah. I know, I know it's a different strategy. It's the stop's going to be 372. So yes, it'll be a loss, but it'll be less than 1-to-1 loss. All right, and then I won't I'm in it, but yeah, I won't give it to them because they might look at that and ask the same question. Like, Dan, I thought you always sell them under support. But I'm in it because I know what I'm doing. Because remember, Alex, selling a put by definition is a higher probability of profit than buying stock. So if you were to buy stock here, look at the risk graph of buying. So look, if you were to buy stock at 415 versus mine. All right, so I shorted the $4 puts for tomorrow. Well, I did both weeks. I got 15 for one DTE. And so my break even is 385. Your break even is your debit. So if you divide the difference of those two numbers is 30 cents, right? So I'm not being a pain in the ass here. I'm trying to illustrate something for everybody just to expand your thinking. So 30 cents divided by 415 debit is 7.2% price basis improvement for 2 days, because today is a full day, so I'll just say, and then I got 30 cents for the ones for next week, so you can do the math on that too. All right, so that was an interesting little talk, but I'm in it. I got a 20 lot for tomorrow, and I just started off with a 2 lot for next week. Why? Because I'd much rather have them expire tomorrow and make my money in 1 day instead of 8. I'm still not filled on that TOST, but I did it at a high number, 50 cents. So I had to pull back. MGK. Yeah, it's a slow grinder. US mega cap. Yeah, I mean it's a slow moving grinder, so there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with that. You could nibble here, stop yesterday's low to get on the train. Yeah, this one looks a little more liquid, so yeah, I'll join you here. Yeah, have my face a little. And let's see, 97 puts. Wow. Oh, I was kind of excited there. The 94 puts are 90 cents, but that's for a month out. K-Web. Hey, K-Web, I had an up and down alarm. Check puts on this bad boy. 35 for next week. I'm gonna sell some 34.5s and make it for 27 cents. Nice out of our Etsy at the high. Taking up our money. Babay, nice. Babay ripping up alarm. 724. And I think it made the first third target, which is when my alarm went off. Yep, the first third target meant. Hmm. What's ANTM? I mean, it's an acronym for something else. Sierra Bravo looking good. Let's move stuff. Yesterday slow. 396. Gee, we also have calls that expire tomorrow. But if they're against us. W, I moved the stop yesterday. Net, we're short a half lot, so that's obviously not working. Merc, still dead animal. Target, same, but gotta sit with it. There, but two. Doing better. Then we also have calls that expire tomorrow. But two, paid $1 for the 14.5. Let's sell them for $1.50. Not really nice little trade, 50% return. Greg's favorite, bottoming patterns. I think it filament tossed finally with Pittsburgh. Don't like the way it's coming in. But a minute, at the sense.
UNH is retracing, it may give an entry.
But it's retracing a little bit aggressive. But yeah, it's worth watching too. On a 5 minute chart, you can see the bars more clearly.
Mm-mm. It gets up to 290, you could just do some and put a stop above the high. Looking at the 5 minutes under, now it's into that, so would be that support area. We can get close to it.
Everything updated, let's go through these earnings again. Garbage. All right. Call spread 65.
Your test has started. Hope you already had time to lie down and relax a couple of
Zero for tomorrow and
always take the test in
no
a different
weeklies.
environment at the same time.
I'm gonna be saying that a lot now, I'm sure. And that Copeland from yesterday, remember them? He had a monster gap. LV having a nasty day. That's the one I mentioned on the moving averages. I think grab a screenshot of this for our moving average. MT line.